Hello my friends and welcome. We have the military map update and Ukraine gained some of the territories in the Bakhmut area. Let's go for it. Firstly, to the south, where the most advance is done by the 3rd Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian army, and they move little by little to the southeast. And let's go to check the timeline. It was yesterday, it was the day before yesterday, and it is today. And it is quite a significant move by almost 4 kilometers. The biggest problem over here is that there is the channel that is used for the agriculture, at least it was used before the war. Now it's the natural obstacle for our army to cross, and that makes the advancement more complicated. From what I understood, the 3rd Assault Battalion doesn't have the special engineering equipment that will help them to cross this area very fast. That's why there should be backup from the other regiments or other brigades to help those guys to advance to Andriivka. Or they may go more to the south to get Kurdimivka under control, and there's the small area where this channel stops a little, and I guess here you may cross. But again, there is the hill and also some of the forest lines also on the Russian controlled area, so it's not that easy job to move over here trying to get Kurdimivka under control. I guess it's more easy to cross the channel somewhere in this area. Speaking about the south part of the Bakhmut area, Russia sent more reinforcements to Kryshivka. That's why it's quite complicated to get this area under control. That's why the 3rd Assault Brigade moves more to the south, trying to get Kurdimivka or maybe Ozeryanivka, and from that place they may go to the north part, northeast. Yes, this maneuver is more risky. It requires more forces that are currently in use. With the proper support, it is possible, and by taking those villages on the south, we may go to the Bakhmut afterwards, or to encircle the city on this road. The good news are not over. On the northwest part, there is the significant advancement of Ukrainian army. But before I tell you about it, let me shout out the sponsor and also the partner of my channel. Yes, it's the Atlas VPN, and they continue to follow the awesome deal that was created especially for my followers, subscribers, viewers. So you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month. Plus 6 months for free. This is the best offer on the market right now for the premium VPN services. You know, before I hadn't had any kind of the VPN services, and unfortunately I paid the high price for it. Let me tell you how it happened. Actually, my friends, I got personal experience that my pilot blog channel dedicated to aviation was hacked. Then I was using public Wi-Fi. All of my videos were deleted, and after that hackers told me to send Bitcoin for them and they will open access to my own account. I didn't transfer anything and just started the new channel with the same name. And obviously after that case I use the VPN all of the time, and for me personally Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. It has a security breach device monitoring feature, so it alerts me that someone tries to reach my device. Then I use the public Wi-Fi. Then I see that message, I disconnect from that public Wi-Fi. My friends, please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month. Plus 6 months for free. This deal is valid just for my followers. I don't know for how long this low price may last, but I was warned that this deal is time limited. So I suggest you to hurry up and join this deal. And now back to the map. We have Berhivka over here that was mostly taken by Ukrainian army. I guess we have the late update for the map because Prigozhin 2 days ago said that Berhivka is controlled by Ukrainian army mostly. And just today we have this new area. This is the very important village because it basically blocks the way out for the Russian forces who are jammed in this valley. There is the very small village Dubovo-Vasilievka, and now they're partially encircled. They have to climb over the hills to move to their positions in Krasnohora or whatever. It's very easy actually to aim them because they are concentrated in this small area. They cannot put the posts in the hills because they will be easily spotted from any kind of the point. The problem for Ukrainian army is this big hill over here. It's 90 meters high, or around 300 feet. That is good enough to spot everything that is happening in the Bakhmut city and surroundings. So what I expect to happen there, that our forces will go over here to this small village, and also we may go through this direction trying to cut the Russian army in that region. But still Ukraine doesn't use lots of their resources for those assaults. It means that it's not the big counteroffensive action that we are waiting for, and it's not the strategic advancement as we expect as well. Should we move to this area, to Yahidne? I would say without taking the heights, the hills, it's not okay, because Russians may spot us in that area. They may precisely fire to our positions, so it's not a good thing to advance to Yahidne right now as I see it. If we take this hill, all of this area will fall under Ukrainian control. Maybe even including Krasnohora and obviously Yahidne, because elevation means a lot. As for the Russian side, they stopped their advancement and went to defense, and sometimes they run. It's been confirmed that Wagner took out their forces, and the Russian regular army is not that motivated compared to Wagner, so that's why they're leaving the positions that Wagner's took for the cost of the high price. Prigozhin is just mad about it. He continued to say that Russian army is useless compared to Wagner, and they should have prepared better if they wanted to stay in Bakhmut, because if they want to stay, they should estimate to have lots of the losses, but it seems like that the Russian army is not ready for that. And Prigozhin's perspective for the Bakhmut city is very simple. He says that the Ukrainian army will continue to advance from the north and from the south, trying to encircle the city, and the Russian army will be forced to retreat. He says that it will happen maximum in 1.5 months. And the Wagner army spent 10 months to get the city under their control. Well, hopefully it will be like that, based on the behavior of the Russian army, because little by little they're leaving their positions, even though Ukrainian army assault with low numbers of forces. It's better from Ukrainian side to continue this option, not with a massive full-scale attack trying to encircle Bakhmut in a couple of days. No, it will lead to the heavy losses. This slight push is what we need right now. And little by little we're gonna boil this frog in the Bakhmut city, and probably frog will be encircled and kaput. Alright, and now from Bakhmut let's move to Shebekina, the Russian town on the border with Ukraine. We know that the Russian Volunteer Legion, or Russian Freedom Legion, how you call them, went to Novotovlazhanka just to see the surroundings, and Russian army somehow left the place, so Russian Volunteer Legion stayed in that area already for 1 week. From the information that went to the press, the number of the soldiers is not more than 100 people. So quite a low number, so mighty Russia cannot handle this situation. They sent some reinforcements, they now secured Shebekina, which is under the constant attacks by some sort of the artillery. Probably Russian army thinks that the opposition forces are in that area, but it's not like that, at least for this hour. The opposition forces, let me call them like that, because it's very long to say the Russian Legion of Freedom or Russian Volunteer Brigade or Corps, whatever. So Russian opposition forces is better, and they were at this place. They went to the local forest as well, and that forest was under the Russian artillery fire from the bad Russians from this side, and that caused the wildfires in that area, as well as some fires in Shebekina. And we have several scenarios how the situation may develop in that region. First of all, the Russian opposition forces will go to Shebekina, taking it under the control, but temporary, because still Russia may use the military resources against those 100 men and they may have some losses during the fight, but I expect the Russian opposition legion to withdraw from the Shebekina in that case. The other scenario is what we see right now. The opposition forces went to Novatovolzhanka and they secured this area under their control, so they're not letting anyone in and anyone out. It is not really a good scenario because they need to move towards that river, the river that goes all across this area near to Shebekina, so they have to move over there because Russia may create the hub with their military forces. They may cross the river and move to Novaya Tovolzhanka. In that case, the opposition forces will just withdraw again to Ukrainian territory, but they may try more assaults in the future. The main thing for them is to make sure that they don't have lots of the losses, because the force they have is quite limited. Yes, they announced the recruitment, but for now they have, I think, maximum 200 people, which is great for the beginning. The Russian media resources just stopped talking about Shebekina and Novaya Tovolzhanka. For them, those are just do not exist. Let's go to Kherson area, where there was the huge disaster that was created by Russians. I am sure about it. Yes, we don't have the real evidence, but I told you in my latest video that according to all of the clues, Russians were able to do it. They blown up the dam, the Novakhovka dam, which is located over here, so it's totally destroyed, and all of that water went down the river, let's say. And what they do right now, they start the evacuation of their forces in Kimburska Kosa over here, because little by little this area turns into the island, and in nearby future they will be not able to receive the supplies from the mainland, so it's their main task to evacuate their forces. But in most of the occasions, Russian army and Russian officials are not able to evacuate military and civilians. They have to take care about themselves. There was the heartbreaking story today in Aleshki. The woman with several kids got trapped on the roof, and our soldiers, with the help of the drones, delivered some water to help them. Afterwards, the guys from Ukrainian side took the boat and went to the place for rescue. The Russian occupation administration just didn't care about the people who were trapped and who are still trapped. And you know, President Zelensky today said that there is no significant action from United Nations or from Red Cross to handle this issue. Ukraine tries to handle everything, but you know what? We cannot cross the front line easily. Russia may fire back, so it's the huge risk for our rescue teams. So international organizations should handle it, because they may speak to Russia. Russia will not speak to Ukraine. Yes, it's the big disaster that happened yesterday, and about the nuclear power plant that we are all worried about, because it creates lots of the issues potentially to the region. And for the nearby perspectives, the atomic engineers reassured that there will be enough water to cool down the systems of NPP. But in a nearby future, there will be not much left from this water reservoir, and the channel from Crimea goes from this area. Actually, you can see it. This is the channel that goes to Crimean Peninsula, so it will not have enough water to supply it to Crimea. And if you didn't know, 80% of the water that goes to Crimea goes through this channel. Those are the Russian transport helicopters that are used now to evacuate the Russian soldiers from the Kimbursky Peninsula, and they will be delivered to the other places. So I guess that in a nearby future, Ukraine may go and take that island, because it's the very important area to ensure the safety of the ships that go to Mykolaiv port. And we start to receive the satellite images from the area. It's hard to watch that the part of the cities, the villages are completely gone because of the massive flooding in that area, and already there were several casualties reported. Mostly people evacuate themselves. From Ukrainian side, the evacuation was organized, but from the Russian occupation administration, there is no action. And yesterday in their video, they reassure the local people that nothing really huge is happening, but what we see from the footages, that it's the big disaster. People are just losing their homes. Again, Again, volunteers from Ukrainian side are doing their best to evacuate the animals from the flooded areas. Here you can see the drone images that were taken today, so total disaster, especially on the Russian-controlled area on the south. But still, our volunteers were capable to go to Oleshki, that was under control by the Russian Federation, and they helped locals to evacuate from their roofs. So our people have to take the risk to help others. And this is how they do it with the boats. They also have the other boat and they put people over there and tow them to the Ukrainian controlled territory. Russia again, as usual, accused Ukraine for their own criminal actions. And they say that Ukraine blown up the dam, but Zelensky today said that it wasn't Ukraine and it's not profitable for Ukraine to do it, because now we'll have the energy crisis because all of the hydroelectric power stations across the Dnieper River were united and interconnected into the same line. The water level is very important for the proper functioning of the hydroelectric power plants. So now none of those is working fine. Plus, there is the high chance that the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant will have some issues with the cooling system, and that may lead to the idling of the nuclear power plant and it will not produce enough electricity. It means that 1/3 or even half of Ukraine may be black out again. Also, if we will not be able to fix this dam to build a new one because the restoration is impossible, so in a few years the southern part of Ukraine may turn into the desert, because now without the water reservoir the agriculture will be dead on the south of Ukraine. In turn, it may lead to the food crisis, to the demographic crisis. So what Russia did yesterday is really bad for Ukraine. And Russia said that Ukraine now has more water to start the counteroffensive using boats, but the more water you have, the more obstacle you have, the more distance you need to cover. It is always bad. If Ukrainian army wanted to go from the Kherson to assault on the Russian-controlled area, it would be much easier to do with the standard narrow Dnieper River. The CNN came out with an article saying that there are the signs that Ukraine had started the counterattack. I wouldn't say so. Now it's the preparation. Yes, there were some assaults on the south and also we advance in the Bakhmut area, but it's not the major one. I'm sure that the attack from the Ukrainian side will happen, but because of the dam case, it will be corrected. And that will take more time. It seems like the Senate of Switzerland confirmed the deal to sell the ammunition via the third countries to Ukraine. I think just a couple of weeks ago the Parliament of Switzerland disapproved the deal, but now because of the Senate decision they have to look through the deal again and hopefully they'll approve it. Because the Swiss-made ammunition is very important for Ukraine, for example for Gepard tanks. This is the parking spot of the United Nations in Kiev, so someone put useless for United Nations cars. And definitely organization does nothing but blah blah blah. The interesting article from The Guardian: some of the NATO member states may send their troops to Ukraine if there will be no any strong security guarantees for Ukraine after the NATO-Ukraine summit that will go this summer in Vilnius. This idea was said by Anders Rasmussen, the former chief of NATO, and I guess he knows this kitchen. For Ukraine, it would be nice if our allies would send their troops to Ukraine, but only on the Ukrainian-controlled territories. So our allies might secure the area, releasing more Ukrainian forces to take part in assault. Again today, the President Zelensky said that the final decision to conduct the major counteroffensive operation has been already taken and we know the exact date, but we, people around, we don't know the date. About the F-16 fighter jets, President Zelensky said that it's been confirmed that we'll have many of those. He got the conversation in Moldova with our allies and he was really surprised with the number. He said that it was the great and happy day for him. Because at first we usually do not obtain the large amount of the weaponry if we speak about the tanks, if we speak about the HIMARS, but here he said a lot and at once. Well, it will be very interesting, especially for Russia, if Ukraine gets those fighter jets. and I'm sure 100% that we'll get them. My friends, I'm gonna keep you updated on situation in Ukraine, and now please press the like to this video, and also don't forget to check the link for the Atlas VPN Premium, where you can get it with a huge discount that was created especially for my viewers, supporters, followers. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.